for the Bruins, the fewest Toronto surrendered through 40 minutes of a game. Gary Galley, you're getting ready in 40 minutes to do the game over there in Winnipeg. Can I use schmozzle? We had a schmozzle here. Kevin, you can take this in.
Schmozzle was led by Knies and trying to wrap the puck. And Knies is close here. He's really close. He's going to get this puck at the end of the period, stuff it. It's a melee. Marchand puts a stick in behind there to save the goal. And Swayman goes down. There's a whistle. There's madness. But what I like about Knies is there's going to be a scrum here. Pasternak and Riley are going to go at it. Right? Pretty fair fight, trade-off. Knies is not a fighter by any means, but he understands that Riley's his best defenseman. He's going to come over and say, no, you want to fight someone, Pasta, fight me. I'll take that any day of the week. I'll take that trade-off even though I'm not a fighter. That's just being a good teammate because he saw that Pasta wouldn't let it go. He kept going on Riley. That's a teammate I'd go to war with, Elliot.
Yes, well, you know, we'd all go to war with you, Kevin. You start, we'll be right behind you. You know, we should say in all the different angles we looked at, that puck didn't look in. There was never an angle that, because all the Leaf fans are wondering it had to be in, never saw anything that showed it was in.
Well, because of Swayman, he has been so good. I really thought that the Leafs, they had 11 shots on goal in that second period, but some of the really high-quality chances, and Swayman, to me, has looked really composed the entire game, but he's really keeping his team in it. I'm really impressed with the Leafs' effort tonight and how they are going to the net. That's one thing I said last game, that I didn't think they were making it hard enough on Swayman. There was a great opportunity by Riley, and as Craig said in the broadcast, who cares about my technique? I'm just going to come across and make any save any way possible, kind of like Dominik Hasek.
They, you know, we're all wondering tonight, would they fold after what happened in game number 4? They have not folded. They've played hard for each other, and they've played hard for their coach.
Given permission with Austin Matthews out, right? And I don't know if that's a case of the Leafs all saying, well, we're not chopped liver, or is it a case of Boston, whew, we don't have to face Austin and the Leafs.
I think Boston's nervous, right from the first shift that you guys showed. Yeah. I just think they're feeling like, oh boy, this might happen again. Oh boy. Every good period for Toronto was more doubt in Boston's mind.
I think, like, look, like, you know, that interview with McCabe in the first intermission with Kyle, like, to me, that was really instructive. He looked straight ahead. He never looked at Kyle. He was very intense. Everybody in that room knows what's been said about them the last 3 days. And those to make the NHL, you have to have such incredible pride and will in yourself. You know what you've been called. You know what everybody said about you. And to me, that look on McCabe was like, we've got something to prove tonight.
And we've all been in that situation, down, facing elimination, and somehow find the way to get through it and hang on for another game.
Yeah.
Wool gets the nod.
You know, Wool, I think he's been excellent. And, you know, the shot counter, as you mentioned, Toronto's done a better job than they have all year in terms of shot attempts. But I look at the chances. Like, this is a bit like Edmonton, LA the other night. The shots were tilted in favor of LA, but Edmonton had really good chances, and Riddick had to be sharp. I've seen the same thing with Wool tonight. Even though the shot is tilted for Toronto, like, these chances are excellent chances. Like, look at this. And for a guy who's sat for a little bit, he has been fantastic, and he has had to be sharp considering the quality he's faced.
So you mentioned McCabe, Elliott, and the reason he did the interview with Kyle at the period is because he scored the goal in the first period. He's not a goal scorer by any means. His best season was 4 goals. Until this year, he actually got 8. He doubled it up. But it's funny when a defenseman who's not a goal scorer scores a goal on one of these seeing eye shots early in the game, and just the confidence that it brings. It seems like after that, backhand pass up the middle breaks pressure. Look at this, on this backhand, protects the puck. It seems like once you get that goal, it's like a green light of, okay, now I'm really going to let everything go in my game. And he's been good all game long. And these clips are from both periods. I've been making this since the first period. And he moves the puck really well. He's their clear-cut number 2 defenseman. He defends well, he's tough, he's physical, and now he's got an offensive flair to his game this year. I mentioned the 8 goals and 20 assists. Watch him here jump Pasta. He knows that's a face-off play. I call it James Neal. Everyone has it in their arsenal. He knows that's a dangerous play. Stick on puck. Nothing happens. Great game so far for McCabe.
And Leafs really beating up on the Bruins in the face-off circle. Let's take a look at the board. And we talked about this in the first period, but one curious thing, and Chris and Craig talked about, Domi had 10 face-offs in the first period, only 1 face-off that he is in the circle for in the second. I don't know if he has some sort of hand injury or something. I'm not sure.
Well, 35 minutes away from action in Winnipeg, and then an hour away from action in Vancouver. Are you with your people on Donald, or... Oh, yeah, it looks like Donald. Anyway, Scott Oak, over to you. Can't tell from here.
Yes, Ron, I'm with my people here on Donald. You know, if the whiteout has anything to say about it, the Jet season will not end tonight. Nonetheless, here we are at the first elimination game of this series, and we got here a whole lot faster than mostly anyone thought we would. Most of all, my people. The Jets just have to have answers for the Colorado offense tonight. The Avs have outscored them 22-13 through 4 games of this series. It's worth remembering the Avs are only 2 years removed from winning the Stanley Cup, and they look just as deep now as they did back then, so the Jets will have their hands full tonight. They're making lineup changes. Among them, Colin Miller comes in on defense, and Cole Perfetti, who scored 19 during the season, is into play on the second line. No lineup changes anticipated for the Avalanche for Game 5 in a whiteout, inside and outside Canada Life Centre. Now to Dan Murphy in Vancouver.
Scott, thank you very much. Rick Tocchet would not confirm his Game 5 starter for this one, saying it's the playoffs. He's been instructed not to tell us such things. That said, we believe it will be Archer Shilovs. We believe that Casey DeSmith is backing him up. So that probably means that Nikita Tolopilo will start with the way this series has been going. Now, Tocchet, despite being up 3-1, knows his team needs to find another gear. Bit of a smash and grab in Nashville. They win Game 3 despite having 12 shots on goal, and then in Game 4 had almost nothing going at 5-on-5, scored 2 6-on-5 goals, the last one with less than 10 seconds left, and win in overtime. Predators head coach Andrew Brunette says, we don't have to change much, but we have to clear up a few mistakes that have been expensive. Ron.
Would be fun to see the torpedo. Anyway, we've got a melee, we've got a tilted, we've got a schmozzle, we've got quite a night going here on Elimination Tuesday. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue at TD Garden in Boston shortly. It's 1-1, the Leafs and the Bruins.